Hi guys, so today we are going to do the question group anagrams. We've studied earlier in a video what anagrams are. Anagrams, by the formal definition, if we go, anagram is a word, phrase or name formed by rearranging the letters of another. So like we've discussed that if spar is the given string, then rasp is also a anagram, because the frequency of all characters in the given string is equal to the frequency of the characters in the other string. So these two are considered to be anagrams. So in this question, given an array of strings, group anagrams together. So here we are given an input array: eat, tea, tan, ate, nat, bat. So how are we grouping it together? Like in all these three words, we see that the letters that occur are A, T, E. Here also we have A, E, T, and here also A, T, E. So the combination is different, but we see that all of them have the same frequency and the same letters. And then in this word NAT, if we see that the frequency of N is 1, A is 1 and T is 1, and again here we have TAN. Whereas in BAT, it has BAT, and if we compare it with any other letter, so it does not have any similar frequencied letter in the given input array. So we'll see how to do it. So in this case, like in the case of checking if two strings are anagram of each other, we made a 26 character array wherein we were increasing the count of frequency and then decreasing the count, and then we checked if all the frequency is 0. In case every character has 0 frequency, then we simply return true. But in case if we think of making a frequency array for all the characters, all the strings, and then we compare the frequency of the other n-1 elements. Like if we make the frequency array of EAT, like E would be 1, A would be 1 and T would be 1, and then we would make the frequency array of all these elements. So like it will be kind of difficult of how to compare. Like TAN would be 1, TAN would be 1, and this it will be very difficult for us to compare the frequency array of each letter to the other letters, and then grouping would be difficult. So we can think of something like sorting each character. Like what would be the resultant? Like if we sort the characters, then it would become EAET, because this is the sorted order of EAT. And then if we sort this this string, then we'll get AET. Again TEA would have AET, then TAN would have been in the sorted order, something like this. Then NAT would also give us ANT, then BAT would give us ABT. So here we see that these three strings have same frequency and the same character, and these two have the same frequency, same character, and they are anagram to each other, and this is left alone. So like here the problem encountered is like, how do we get back the original string? What was the original string? Like we know that these three characters have the same are anagram to each other, but we are not able to get what the actual string was. So in this case, what we can do is make a map of string, comma, vector of string. If you can think about it, like in the string part, the key would store the sorted order of each string input array. What I am telling is, like we'll make a map, we'll sort this character, it would give us A, E, T, and what we would append in the value of the map is the original letter E, A, T. The key is the sorted order, and the value would be a vector of string which contains the actual string what the input array gave us. Then when we encounter ATE, the sorted order would be the same as what we've entered. So in case the map already has a key which is equal to the sorted order of the input array here, then we just simply append it. Then here ATE is appended. Okay, then we suppose we had tan here, so the sorted order is A and T. We do not have a key related to A and T, so we add it. Sorry for the bad handwriting. Then A and T, we append the actual input, string input, TAN. Then if we encounter TEA, so what would be the sorted order? The sorted order would be EAT. We would search the map if it has key related to the sorted order, that is AET. Yes, it is present, so we would simply append the input string TEA. So we are seeing that what was the required output. Like we have ATE, EAT and T in one row. So these three elements, if we just traverse the map and take the value of the vector of strings that we have added, then we could get the final answer. And similarly for NAT, we get the sorted order which is A and T. We check if it is present in the map. Yes, it is present as A and T. Then we simply add the value, NAT is added. Okay, then we encounter BAT. We check if the sorted order is present in the map. Yes, it is present. It is not present, so we'll add it to the map and append the actual string. BAT is added. So we are doing it in a single traversal. We just traverse each word in only once, and then when we reach the end, we end our traversal. And what we finally require is that each of these rows comes as a final answer in a vector of vector, because the return type is vector of strings. So let's start coding. The thing that we require to return is vector of string answer, and then what the other data structure that we use is map string comma vector of string. I hope you guys have understood like why we are using vector of strings, because vector of strings we are basically appending the actual string value that is given in strs. Okay, so I'll give this map the name MP, then I'll iterate string s of strs. I am iterating through the given vector, and I'll simply MP of, I'll first take the present string I'll make a variable string temp, then I'll take the sorted order sort s dot begin. I'll first take temp equal to s and then sort temp dot begin, because here I require the actual word also, temp dot end. So here I'll to the, like, I have first sorted the given input, and then appended the actual value in the key part. Okay, so in map of temp I'll push back the actual string s. Fine. So in this way we would get something like this. This data structure is obtained from the following step, this. And now what we are required to do is we just have to append each row in a new row in the given answer vector of vector. So I'll bring it down here. What would be the size of the vector that we are returning? It would be equal to mp dot size, because we see that the map size was 3, 1, 2, 3, and here also we return a vector of size 3 with 3 rows. So I have declared a vector of size 3, and then I am simply auto it of mp. I am iterating through the map, and for each string s of it dot second. What is it dot second? It is a vector of string, like we've taken vector of string, so it is vector of string, and then I'll declare a vector of string temp here, and temp dot pushback s. And then after, simply when I add all the values to the temporary string vector, then I'll add this vector to the here we do not take the size s, we simply answer do answer dot pushback temp. So basically a vector is being added to vector of vector, and then we simply return the answer. So I'll try to run the code. Oh, some typing errors. Let's wait for a while. So the answer that I've got is correct. Let me submit it. So we've got a correct answer, and I hope you guys have understood it. Like I'll reiterate through the approach. What I'm doing is I'm making a map of string comma vector of string. Then I'm taking a temporary string. Then what I'm doing is, like, I'm iterating through the given input array. Then I take it in a then I take each string in a temporary variable and sort it. Why do I require a temporary variable? Because for the insertion purposes I require the actual string, what the actual string was. So I take a temporary variable, then sort it, and in the map at the sorted string position I add the actual string. In this way a map that is similar to this is formed. So this is formed, and then I am simply making a vector of vector, which is the return type of the given question. I iterate through the map, make a temporary string vector, and then I iterate through the value pair, like key and the value. I am iterating through the values of each key and adding to the temporary vector and then at the end of the iteration I am pushing it into the vector of vector, and then I am simply returning it. So this is a very simple approach, and this is an important question in terms of interview, and you should practice it. I hope you had a good time. Bye bye.